In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an automation that can post all of your Instagram image posts, whether they're single images or image carousels, adding captions, hashtags, all automatically from a Google Drive folder. So before we get into the build, let me show you how it works. All right, so here we are in my Google Drive. I'm just going to drop some images in here, drop them in. I'll come over to my Google Sheet. This is the Google Sheet that triggers my Instagram uploads. I've got my two major accounts here. Going to upload to this one and add a caption. Hit publish, click the link, webhook accepted, jump back in here. We get this item popping up saying we've posted to this account with this caption, these hashtags, and we've posted successfully. Let's head over to my testing account. This is my testing account. This is my place to make things. We can see that new image carousel pop up here. I can check all the images, the new caption, and hashtags that were inserted. So again, this will work for single image posts or the carousel posts. You just get into that Google Sheet, add the captions you want, and you can keep whatever hashtags you normally use for that account there in the Google Sheet. If you're only posting one image, the automation will recognize that you only have one image to upload and post the one image. And if you're posting multiple images to the carousel, the automation will recognize all of the images in there and line them up in the carousel for you. And one more thing before we jump into the build, if you want to check out my brand new school community, I will have all of these templates available for free. You can jump in there, check them out, and just start posting your images to Instagram right away. Otherwise, let's get into the build. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is jump over into your make.com account, click on create new scenario. We're gonna start off this scenario with a webhook. So you can type in the search bar webhook, and we want a custom webhook. Click add, click save, and now we have this webhook address. We can copy that address to paste it into our new Google Sheet that's going to trigger this automation. For now, just hit OK, and we can move on to the next module. Before I do that, I'm going to come up here and name this Instagram image post demo. Come down here, hit save. Now we can drag out the little plus, create a new module. First module is going to be Google Drive. We want to search for files or folders. You're going to need to set up your Google Drive connection. Make has the information to set up that Drive connection. Just hit add and follow those instructions to create that connection. I have my Google Drive connection set up here. And from this first value here, we're going to say from the list, choose a drive. I'm choosing my drive, choose a folder. Now in my Google Drive, let's take a look at my actual Google Drive folder. And inside I have my folders, and I have this one called Automation Dump. Inside of Automation Dump, I have a folder called Images. This is where I drop all the images I want to post and then delete them out afterwards. You can name your folders whatever you want on your Google Drive. You need a drive and a folder. It doesn't have to be ordered or structured or named like this at all. You just need to be able to find it in the make scenario. So I'm going to jump back over to make. I'm going to choose my folder. There's my automation dump. Inside my automation dump, there's my images folder. From this folder, we want to retrieve files. I'm going to set the limit to 10, hit OK. Next module, click the plus, drag it out. The next module is Google Drive. We need to download all of those images. The reason we need to download them will become apparent later on. Basically, it's Instagram's API that doesn't allow posting to Instagram from a Google Drive or a Dropbox folder. So we got to work some magic here and get those images a different way so that Instagram can post our images. So we're going to enter the file manually. You can leave that as it is. We want the file ID. Click that, and we're going to grab the file ID and click OK. Next module, we need this module called IBB. This is for image hosting, kind of like Flickr or Imgur. I never know how to say that, Imgur. You can host your images there. So we're going to upload a photo. That's all we need to do. We need to create a connection here. Click add, name your connection, whatever you want, IBB demo. All right, so now you're gonna need an API key from IBB. Let's go create an account with IBB. Just Google IBB image, and it's this one right here, IMGBB. You can create your free account here. This is my profile. I have no images in here. Now we're gonna have to do a weird thing to get our API key. Let's come up to upgrade, click that. We don't need to upgrade. We can keep this a free account. Just come down here and click API access. Now we can add an API key This is mine up here and I have it blurred out. Add that API key, copy it, jump back into Make and paste that API key into this field right here. Click Save. Now we need to click this button here. Click OK. Let's create a new module. This one is going to be an aggregator. We could come here to Flow Control, find Array Aggregator. For the source module, we want this first Google Drive module here. Now, before we can continue on with this, we need to run this. We need to set up a couple things so that we can output the data correctly into Instagram. We can't add anything here yet. Just come down and click OK. All right, let's jump over to Google Sheets. Google Sheets, this is my actual sheet that I use to trigger my Instagram image automations. So we have my two major accounts here that I automate. You're going to want to create a Google Sheet similar to this. It doesn't have to look like this at all. We just need row 1 to have these headers, account, caption, hashtags. You can name these headers whatever you want. For me, it makes sense to name this one account, captions, hashtags, and then the post to Instagram publish button is in this column here. So to demo how to make this out, I'll insert a row below and just copy and paste one of the previous rows. I've got a new account, the captions section. You can put anything you want in the hashtag section. And for the button, we're going to create a hyperlink. But I also like to put these little dashes in a row underneath. It's an easy way to create row separation and let the automation know you want everything to come after this when it adds new rows to this sheet. So to make this button, you can type anything you want into this field here. I'll just say post and change the font size. I'll just do something like this. Then click on this cell and come up here to create a link. And then we could post in a link right here. Let's get that back over in Make. The link we need is the actual webhook from this module right here. So I'm going to click into this module, copy the address to clipboard, click OK, come back into Google Sheets, paste it right here and click Apply. Now we can click on this word and it'll show that link for us. We can click on that link to trigger that webhook. So one more step before we test it. We actually need to put some images into our Google Drive folder so we can test the automation here. So I'm going to jump over to my Google Drive and you want to upload at least 2 images. This will run into some errors at the beginning when you only have 1 image in there. Make sure you upload at least 2 images so we can trigger the Carousel's Instagram upload and then work backward from there. So got 3 images in my Google Drive. They are finished uploading. Make sure you wait until they are finished. So let's jump back over to Make. And we want to flip on the automation so we can trigger this. Come back to Google Sheet, click the hyperlink, click the link. This will pop up in a new browser window saying that webhook was accepted. You can close out that window, jump back into Make. Now we can see that data come through. We got all of the files in my Google Drive. There's 3 there. They all downloaded. They all got uploaded to IBB. And now they're over here in the aggregator. All right. We can move on to the next module. It's going to be Instagram for Business. You can type in the search bar, make sure we choose for business. And we're going to create a carousel post. Now you're going to want to take some time to set up your meta connection. You need to set up a Facebook page that is connected to your Instagram account and get everything set up on that business Instagram account to be able to post to Instagram. It's just the way Instagram works. If you want to post anything to Facebook or Instagram, kind of a lengthy process to get through that setup, but we need it to continue on. So I've got my connection set up and I've got the page I want to post to, which is connected to the Instagram I want to post to. This is my place to make things page. Let's come down here into Files, click Add Item, Media Type. It's going to be image, and we need a photo URL in here. So let's put in some dummy URLs for now. Let's go into your IBB account. Here's my 3 recent uploads that the automation published into IBB. I can grab any one of these images. Let's just grab this one, come down here, click on this little button, and we can copy this URL, jump back into Make, paste that URL here, and then scroll down. Let's add an item. Media type is image, and photo URL just paste that same URL. This is going to be a dummy setup so we can get some settings into that aggregator. Go ahead, click OK, come back to the aggregator. Now in the target structure type, we can choose our Instagram for Business Carousel module here. We want to select files. That gives us some new file options. We want to select image. And for that photo URL now, we're going to actually use the data from our array. So in photo URL, we want to use the image URL and click OK. All right, so I'm going to set up a sort of debug module here now. Let's slide out Instagram for Business, right click on the route to add a module. I'm going to add a Google Sheet, and we want to add a row in Google Sheets. Let's set up a new Google Sheet connection. Click Add, name it whatever you want. Google Sheets Demo, sign in with Google, choose your account, click Continue, click Allow. Now I've got my Google Sheet connection. I can search by path for the drive. I'll select my drive. For the spreadsheet, choose a file. I want to select that spreadsheet. It's actually in my Google Sheets folder. And inside my Google Sheets folder, I've got my upload queue. Let's go back to Google Sheets real quick. That is the name of my actual spreadsheet here. And I named my sheet the same thing here, upload queue. Back into make. So if I want to choose my sheet name, it is that same name, upload queue. Now we want to say, does the table contain headers? Yes, it does. You can hit refresh. That will come up with your actual headers from row 1 in your Google Sheet. All right, so here's account, caption, hashtags, and post to Instagram. In my Google Sheet, I have account, caption, hashtags, and post to Instagram. So for this little debug here in the post to Instagram section, multiple images posted. I'm going to right click the route and add a router, then come down here and click the magic align button. Now it's here that I'm going to add that filter. So I'll click the wrench, set up a filter, and the conditions are going to be when the array, click on this drop down here, scroll all the way down to the bottom to find array operators, array length greater than 1. Click OK. What this filter does is it sees the images coming through the chain. And if there are multiple images, it's going to pass it on to carousels. When we make a second route, a similar filter will look for the images coming down and say, if there's only one, we're going to pass that on to make a regular Instagram image post. I'll come down here, save the scenario. Then to test this out, I'm going to put a gate on this wrench right here. I'm going to add a filter, and I'll just say when 1 is equal to 2, which will never happen, which means this will never pass. So let's go ahead and trigger this automation. Going to save it back out so we can watch it run. Come into Google Sheets, click Post, click the URL, jump back into Make. We see that running through all 3 images. And we've hit the Google Sheet to add a row, and we are blocked and not posting to Instagram. Let's go back into Google Sheet, and we can see our debug here. Multiple images posted. We did it. All right, let's come back into Make and restructure this a little bit. So I'm going to right-click this module to clone it. Then click on this filter and this X right here to get rid of that condition. Click OK. Then come to this module to delete it. That leaves us with our same filter right here. This filter will check if the array length is greater than 1. Let's slide this Google Sheets module to the end of the chain here. I'll hit the auto align. And in this row, we're going to be adding in some other information from our Google Sheet. So we need to add that information in here before the router so we can populate the captions, hashtags, and all of that stuff. So let's come into this route right here, right click on that route, add a module. This will be Google Sheets. We're going to get a cell. Choose your same Google Sheets connection here. Search for your Google Sheet. Mine is in Google Sheets folder, and it is my upload queue. Sheet name is upload queue, and the cell we want to get for this module, let's take a look at our Google Sheet. We want to get cell A6. If I want to use a different account, I can say A4 if I want to post a Sleepy Sea Monster. So I'm going to say cell A6 for my new account for testing. Let's come back into Make, cell A6, and click OK. Let's name this one so we know which cell it actually is getting for us. Let's right click on the module, rename, and we can rename it to account name. To duplicate this module, we'll right click on it, clone it, stick it down right after in between the router, hit the auto align button, click save, just in case, come into this Google Sheet, make sure you're in the right Google Sheet, and the cell we want for this one, let's check. I want the captions, that is B6. Let's jump into make, I'll type in B6, click OK, right click on this module, rename it, and this is captions. One more time, right click this module, clone it, stick it down in between, auto align, click save, come into this new Google Sheet, double check your sheet, and in the cell, you can guess we are putting hashtags. Mine is C6. Hashtags C6. Click OK. Right click the module. Rename hashtags. All right, so we got some cell information. Now we can just plop it down into our post for Instagram and then update our sheet. Let's click on Instagram and we'll finish up this module here. First of all, in the files, come over and click this map button. Now we can map the array and get all of those image URLs. We want array. For caption, we want our captions here. We'll click this value. After the captions, we want to put a couple line breaks so that the hashtags are spaced out. So let's come over here, click this A, select new line, and we can hit that twice for 2 new lines. Come back to the little star, and now we can get the hashtag value here. So we'll have our captions, 2 line breaks, and the hashtags. Let's come down and click OK. Now we can update our last Google Sheets module to add a row. Double check your Google Sheet. The account name is going to be our account name, this value here. The caption is going to be captions, and the hashtags is going to be hashtags. And for our debug here, we can say successfully posted. You can type whatever you want, then click OK. So before we test this, I just want to point out a couple requirements for the Instagram module. You can see these requirements here: maximum file size, aspect ratio, the maximum width, but I have noticed that sometimes there are ghost pixels and in between pixels that get miscalculated. So if you set it to something less, something like 1080, right, that's going to be a great aspect ratio, going to be a great scale down for the Instagram posts. And this right here is why we can't post images directly from Google Drive or Dropbox. It's just something that Instagram says we can't do. And therefore, we have these 2 steps to take the files from Google Drive, download them, upload them to another site, then get the image URLs to be able to post to Instagram. As long as you are meeting these requirements, your images should go through. Make sure you upload images that meet these requirements to the Google Drive folder, and we can test out the automation next. All right, so we're ready to test out this full automation chain. So let's save the scenario, make sure our automation is on. We can double check we do have images in the Google Drive. Head over to Google Sheets, click post, then click the URL. Back into make, we can see it run through. We got all 3 images. It passed the length filter, and now we are actually posting to Instagram that image carousel. There we go, successfully posted, and our Google Sheet has been updated. Let's check that. We've got it right here. We've got new account, no captions, and anything you want hashtags, successfully posted. So in my testing Instagram account, you can see this is the new post here. Let's just double check. We can check the carousel, slide over, see all of the images. Double checking to make sure it's the right post. We had no caption and just the hashtag, anything you want. That's what I'm building for you here on this channel. It's anything you want me to make and automate. So looks great. What we can do next is work on the Instagram single image post. It's going to be a lot easier to configure. Let's jump into Google Sheet. Now we can delete these 2 testing fields, or we can leave them in there. You can see how they stack up. You can keep track of all your posts that way, or just delete them out. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these 2 rows out and come into my captions. I'm going to type in, this is a single image. All right, let's set this one up, jump back into make. We're going to branch off of this router here, but before I do that, let's put an error handler onto this carousel module. Sometimes if your internet lags out or the Instagram's moving slow, the carousel post won't go through. So we just want to add something that can handle that just in case and not destroy your feed and not destroy your automation if something like that happens. So right click on the Instagram module, Click add error handler, and we want to add a break. This break, you can set the number of attempts you want for it to retry. If it's not working, we can say 3 attempts, and interval between attempts, let's say 5 minutes. We'll have 15 minutes of trying. If it still doesn't work, this whole thing will shut down and not post. That way you're not getting half posts and weird stuff going on. It'll just say, you know what, let's try again another time. So in that break module, set that up there, click OK. Going to align, auto align. Now we can branch off of this router and create our single image post. So click the plus here to create a route. I actually want to rearrange these routes. I want the single image post to be the first route and the carousel post to be the second route. So I'm going to right click on the router, order routes, and move this second one up to first and click apply. Now when I hit auto align, we'll see the new route pop up and say first route. The one we just built is our second route. We're going to add Instagram for Business right here, but before we forget, let's add in that filter here. Click the wrench, set up a filter. Set the condition to array, scroll and find array length equal to 1, meaning we only have 1 image to post. This new module is going to be Instagram for Business. We want to create a photo post. Select your same Meta account and same Facebook page. And for that photo URL here, I'm just going to put in a single URL. So I need to come into the array and select that image URL. Caption will be our captions with 2 line breaks, back into the star, add hashtags, and click OK. I'm going to clone this Google Sheets module, right click on it, clone, stick it up here to our new Instagram for Business. Keep all of these values the same for our single image post. Click OK. And one more thing, let's come into the break module here. If you click on this, it's asking you to set up the storing of incomplete executions. Click on that text and click yes, click OK. Going to auto align one more time, save it. We are finished. We are ready to test our Instagram image post. Let's give it a shot. So the first thing I need to do is come to my Google Drive and delete out 2 of these images. The images that are in your Google Drive folder are the ones getting posted to your account. If you only want to post 1 image, make sure that's all you got in there, and we can do a single image post. So there it is. I'm gonna go back into my Google Sheet. Got my caption ready to go. I'll click post, click the URL, and in Make, we can see that coming down. We hit the filter and saw 1 image in our array, posted that to Instagram and updated our Google Sheet. There it is, new account. This is a single image post. How cool. And we are successfully posted. Let's look at my testing account. I'll refresh the page. Here it is, brand new, single image. Let's take a look. We've got the captions and the hashtag right there. Pretty amazing automation. I wanted to mention the option as well. Instead of having this publish button to post images on demand, we can swap out the webhook and publish on a scheduled basis. We jump back into Make. We can swap out this module with a Google module, delete this module, add Google Drive, and we want to watch files in a folder. Make sure we have our Drive connection, select your folder. After we set this limit to 10, we also want to make sure we set the watch files by modified. Then we can say from now on, click OK. If we click this clock here, this will run every few minutes, or we can set it to every day at 6:19 p.m., for example. Now, every day at 6:19, it will look for new files, then start this automation if it finds any. You just have to remember that you need to delete out files that you don't want to use, and now that will run on a schedule. So that's it for this one. Excellent job making it this far through the video, building out these automations. Congratulations on your brand new Instagram image poster. Now, if you're struggling through parts of this video and you're finding you're coming up with errors and things going wrong, I highly recommend building your own automation while working from a template. I have all my templates up on my new school community. You can download those, check out the finished build, and compare it to what you got going on and try and fix all your errors. I know I still have errors every day building my own automations, and it is absolutely frustrating to not have some kind of guide. Well, I've put up all of those guides for you. Jump in there, grab them, and make some really cool stuff. I'll put the link to my Skool community in the description. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.